How's it going, YouTube? This is Bryan.
I'm Roger.
And here we are with another episode of Eclectic Nerds for Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
The Atlantis episode.
So-called. So-called.
Morty.
Psych.
We were
shit.
They were like, skating. So after the bye week, it was a bye week, right?
Yeah, it was a bye week. It was kind of upsetting because we were looking forward to the Atlantis episode. But
it was worth it.
Yep.
For those of you guys that actually watched it, it was worth it.
And if you haven't watched it, again, what are you doing with your life?
And after we finish watching this episode, go ahead and watch it. Even though, spoiler alert. So anyway, so this episode was really cool. This was the Atlantis episode. I quote
which turned out to be Tales from the Citadel,
which is really cool.
Yep.
Which, like at the beginning of the whole season, where you see how the Citadel got teleported into the Galactic Federation's prison, and then it blew up, and then all that nonsense happened, and we all know about episode 1.
Yes.
So what all of us have been wondering is like, what's going on with everybody else besides Rick and Morty? And they finally gave us a taste of like, okay, well, here's the Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
And as we found out in this episode, it's actually being rebuilt.
Yes.
They're trying to bring it back and make it as prime as it was before Rick decided to go crazy and blow everybody up and kill everybody.
Yep.
So you do see like the other dimensional Rick and Morty come into this one.
Yep.
Before our Rick and Morty jump into going into Atlantis.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, how about you donate money to our rebuilding of the Citadel?
Mm-hmm.
And then there goes Rick as far as saying, it was my choice to blow it up. Why would I donate money to it? And then they're like, oh, you're that Rick.
Yep.
So.
And then Morty starts mouthing off.
And you see how, like, you could tell a difference between that Rick and that Morty, between that Rick and that Morty. Because even that Rick was like, well, you're going to show off your Morty like, every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like pretty cool how Rick and Morty kind of support each other in that sense. Is like, we are the Morty as Morty. I'm the Rickest of them all kind of deal.
Yep.
Like their little quote thing that they say.
Yep.
So that cutscene tells the Citadel. And you see like all the other Ricks and Mortys doing their own regular life, I guess, whatever they did in the Citadel. Which I think was really cool because in the other episodes they've never really showed much of the Citadel. They just showed like the counts of the Ricks.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
They didn't really show much.
Well, because that's all that really comprises it. But now you have Ricks running free, Morty's being mortified, re-mortified.
I guess.
Is that? Reassigned to other Ricks. You see them in school.
You see the process of like, this is a Morty, and then I'm gonna put you with another Rick.
And how other Ricks, I guess, aren't successful enough to live in their own timeline, so they come to this little area known as the Citadel.
And they got like normal jobs.
Yeah. Like there you see factory workers.
Yeah.
They have a simple Rick's factory, which is a play on like Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You have Rick cops.
Yeah, cops, and then some of them are Morty, like the one Morty cop.
The one,
that I know of.
Which was like Training Day, right? So we have Morty Denzel Washington. What else do we have? We have. I like how when they were on the subway or the little like track, the L train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they all pull out their flasks at the same time to take a drink.
Yeah, and then
that one dude that's flying by, he's like sipping his little wine or martini glass thing with like little hors d'oeuvres on the side.
So
like,
it kind of shows like even in the Citadel, there's like different structures of Ricks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, Rick being the main concept of the Citadel, Mortys are still being seen as a lower people.
Yep.
But they still have their own structure system. We have the regular workers, and we have the upper ups, and then we have the government people. I guess you would say.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool seeing that structure of the Citadel as far as how it works, how it makes itself useful throughout the days. You see Mortys in school, and that's pretty cool because I think some of these Mortys were actually brought when that original episode, the first, when they had
all the ones that were like tied to the thing.
Yes,
yeah.
When they were killing the Ricks and stealing the Mortys. I think this is where a majority of those Mortys came from because they were all by themselves, no Ricks, and then now they're being assigned to the Rick. So.
Yeah, and like in that Hogwarts school, you have Rick, Professor Snape, and then they have.
I did see that reference.
If you look around the room, like in the back, they have a little recycle Morty poster.
Yeah.
So that's like how they're being reassigned and retaught how to be.
Proves how like they don't see Morty as a that important. Because
they're all recyclable.
Yeah.
And like even the one dude, so they have this little play on like Stand By Me, right? So it's 4 kids, and one of the dudes, he's like, "How many Ricks have you had?" He's like, "Oh, this will be my 5th or 5." He's had 5 Ricks.
5 Ricks?
Yeah.
Like, at least you're good at something, kind of. Or you're the first one at something, or one at something.
So it's almost like Rick can be recycled too, or not recycled, but there's
they
enough
die
to go
eventually.
around.
Yeah. Oh, they kind of end up dying off, so their Mortys are left dead. but they blame it on the Morty in a sense because they kind of put that weight on the Morty whenever Rick would die.
Yeah.
So
and that's why also like speaking of dying off, whenever they have that the news network, right, the cable news or morning news network, whatever, which is
it's
also
morning news.
The morning news,
which is
news
morning
in the morning.
being told in the morning.
Yeah,
simple as that.
They if you look in the bottom right corner, there's that little CN, which is close to CNN.
Yeah.
So think about it like that too.
Writers are just bringing things from everywhere.
They were saying that what's it called? Like the main news piece was saying how your uranium skin, or like uranium.
Oh, you have the uranium
in your skin is killing you. Surprise! It is.
Your uranium.
Yeah. So does that mean that all Ricks have a uranium lining in their skin?
Probably is. Well, I don't know if it's accessory or it's something that they have inside of them.
No, it's like in their skin, like in their actual like.
I guess that's what's probably killing like you said.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's killing off the Ricks.
Yeah.
Or making them what they are. But yeah, I'm surprised.
Because we were just talking right in that last episode we were just talking about how they have like the Rick that we have now has like what is it called? Like machine or cyber implants.
Cyber implants.
Yeah.
So like has the eye, the chest, and the arm, like cybernetic kind of deal inside, which my last video we did was kind of like I wasn't looking at that because it's right because our original Rick was actually tied down when he was in the Galactic Federation, and they did that whole loop from Rick to Rick to Rick to Rick to Rick. So maybe that Rick or our original Rick didn't have that inside of him. And then when he went to the other Rick, maybe those Ricks did. Maybe. Who knows?
And then also in that Vindicators episode, he has that that mesh lining that helps like a shield around his skin.
Oh, that's right. He does have that on him.
So does that mean like are all Ricks cybernetic things?
I wouldn't be surprised. They've been alive for some time.
I wonder if it was like a standard of the Citadel.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the Citadel. The main thing that made everything worth it is that you do see a little. They're having their first democratic election.
Yes.
With like all these Ricks and this one Morty. And obviously they look down on that Morty. Oh, look at him. He looks cute with his little suit. Look at him, the little bastard. What do you want to call him? So all of the Ricks are obviously not taking the race serious, and then that one Morty is. And then you see like all the other forms of Mortys, the Morty cop, and how he sees all the Mortys like they're Rickless people.
Yeah.
So he just
calls them Rickless animals.
Yeah. And then you see that one Rick who actually has some sort of a sympathy for the Morty, and you kind of start seeing the corruption within the Citadel itself. So that's pretty cool. How once again this show is funny and everything, but it kind of brings back stuff from like our real world perspective.
Yeah, and just like touching on everything.
Yeah. I'm not saying that our government's broke. So having the Citadel, that version of Citadel shown and explained is pretty cool.
I also appreciated like the Mortys from different dimensions because like when they were introducing the presidential candidate Morty, he was shaking hands or like visiting the hospital with a trunk face Morty.
the trunk face,
the trunk face people from the interdimensional cable episode 1. Yes.
Yeah, that was for the first one. Yeah, that was the first one. So it's pretty
different
cool having
Mortys.
that. All the different dimensional Mortys, which again I think they're doing this more sense because they're trying to tie into the app, the game, Pocket Mortys. They kind of show all the other dimensional Mortys. So having this show now kind of emphasize on that is pretty cool. Seeing all the different dimensions because you see the one that got fused with the lizard. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing that they did. Instead of giving us an end credit scene, they gave us the intro sequences, right?
Yeah.
The little the clips. They normally, or so far they've had them in the.
Oh, that's right.
The after credits, but this one showed up in episode.
Yeah, both of them actually. I think. No,
just the one.
Just that one.
Because it's the one where like the lizard teeth are.
The lizard's coming out
the window.
Out the window.
Yeah,
this
whenever
is actually in
out.
the episode. Yeah, you're right. That was pretty cool. So this is the only one I think is the next.
So far,
at the end, right?
Yeah. Because the other one was the Jaguar.
Jaguar was at the end with the Maestro.
Maestro.
Yeah. So
we'll do a recap later, but
that's pretty cool though. As far as so they're going through this thing to try to pick their next leader because obviously Rick killed all the other people from the Council of Ricks. So obviously they're not going that route anymore. As far as having a council, that's going to have like
going for democracy.
President.
Or democracy.
We'll see what that is.
Yeah.
So then they have that one guy, Simple Rick, inside this factory. And apparently he must have been a normal Rick because he actually didn't go the whole science way. He was more concerned over taking care of Summer. And then maybe that's Beth. I'm sorry. Yeah, taking care of Beth. So going through that, maybe he was like that one dimension that actually stayed with Beth.
Yeah, because they were saying that he stopped it, or they stopped him, or they brought him in, and then the memory of him at Beth's birthday thing.
Yeah, like taking care of
Beth, taking care of her, doing her birthday stuff. They run it on a loop, and that's that little chemical. That's what they put into their cookies.
Which is really dark and weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you look around, also there's pictures of Beth with horses. The gift that he's wrapping up has a unicorn on it.
Yeah.
So like she's been around horses her whole life.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she's so concerned about horses too, because the way that she so dependent or reliant or admires her father so much. I wonder if her love of horses also depends on that too. So if they're showing that memory on a loop, did it actually happen?
Right.
So is she like, okay, my dad introduced me to horses. This is what my dad made me love. This is why I'm going to stick with it through and through. Because
like her way of clinging on to her father, kind of while he was gone, was like, I'm going to stick with the horses.
Yeah, I'm going to be a horse surgeon, and I'm going to get him back, or I'm going to show him, or I'm going to, try and bring him back.
That's probably what she stuck to as far as memory wise. Like this is the one thing that I was left with.
Yeah.
More sense, like horses. So that's probably why she pursued that career. That explains a lot. So you do see that a lot on this episode. So again, you see the Democratic debate going on, and everybody's saying, little Morty's not going to win. Little Morty's not going to win. It's all over. It's for the Ricks.
Yep.
So further down the episode, you actually see that Morty wins.
Yeah, because they go through the presidential debate where they're presenting all their stuff, right? So they give the Ricks simple questions like, how are you going to fix the economy? How are you going to do this and that?
All we saw was like more lasers.
Yeah. And then you have like the juggling Rick. You have that Rick that's a play on the rent is too high guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
who else?
funny.
Yeah. So you have all these other Ricks answering simple questions,
and they're joking about it, not even taking.
And all the Ricks find it interesting. But then you have the Morty, who's presented with. So the divide between the Ricks and Mortys is crazier than ever. How do you expect to solve that one in 30 seconds? Like, give your answer.
30 seconds, done deal.
And he gives an answer, and he gets everybody riled up, and then that essentially wins him the election.
Yeah, and then that one, his campaign manager was like doubting him the whole time, like, how do you gonna? And even the campaign manager, going back, the campaign manager the whole time was telling him, you're not supposed to be confident. You're supposed to, cut your losses when you can. And
you're supposed to be a Morty.
You're supposed to be a Morty. Like, you should not have faith. I'm not being paid here to have faith, kind of deal. And then so having that one campaign manager kind of like, what's wrong with this Morty kind of deal. So that kind of brings it back to that relaxation one. Maybe that's the one Morty in a dimension that never got that toxicity put back in him.
Yeah, or the one confident Morty.
Or the one confident Morty.
Yeah. So this would be the anti-Morty.
Which goes back to that one Morty we found in that one episode.
The evil Morty.
The evil Morty, which actually controlled the one Rick and
he was killing Ricks.
Killing the Ricks and capturing Mortys. So that was the only Morty we ever saw that was actually confident about himself or knew what he was doing in a sense. Which brings us to the big plot twist of the episode, I would say.
Where at the end he's like sitting on the table with a mirror with the Ricks behind him.
Yeah, all the Ricks who were like again goes back to this,
you would think are his like cabinet to his presidency, right?
Yeah.
And they're like from different districts, different kinds of Ricks. And then he's like, okay, so who's against me, who's not? And then he basically takes out whoever's against him.
Yeah, because they're like, you would see that even with the Council Ricks, or before the Council, we're the ones who ran the Citadel. So it kind of goes back to, like, again, kind of real life thing where we all have that one conspiracy of there's that one group of people who actually control the world kind of deal.
And you have the one person come in that changes completely
everything.
Yeah, changes the order.
You find out that, that Morty isn't afraid to kill people.
No,
or Ricks, or Mortys, or anybody. He just kills them. And then that one song plays and it all comes together.
Yep.
This is that
which has
evil.
It has to be my favorite theme.
Oh, that song?
Yeah. Across a lot of shows have signature theme songs for certain characters. This has to be one of my favorites.
It's so dark.
It fits the show, it fits Evil Morty.
Yeah. So in case you haven't figured out, Evil Morty makes his second and majestic appearance in this episode. Which again, it was a huge plot twist, having Evil Morty come back and take over the Citadel.
Yeah. Which, I mean, also if you're paying attention, you can kind of like see hints at it, right? You kind of infer and make that connection.
Like I said, the campaign manager was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be confident. You're supposed to be worried or You know, so
and also that same campaign manager, he gets fired.
Yes,
because so after that presidential debate, he steps down, or presidential Morty steps down, fires him, and he's like, okay, cool. He goes in a bender to a bar. He meets secret undercover Rick, who hands him some paperwork. There's an exchange between them, right? And then he looks at the sheets, tries to assassinate. That's one part that we forgot.
Yeah,
he tries to assassinate.
He goes right up to him and just shoots him. And you're like, oh my god, he just shot the one guy. And we're at this point, we still don't know if it really was Evil Morty or not. I'm just thinking it's just another Morty who was trying to run the presidency. But I thought you probably find out, oh no, he's some type of drone being used by the Ricks. Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Yeah,
and then surprise, it was actually Rick. Because at the end, you see how like they put them in the trash chutes and they shoot them out into space and they'll kind of die.
Yep.
Or they were dead at that point, just trash them out, and you see like the paper floating. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like pictures of Evil Morty with the iPad, removing the little microchip thing.
Yeah, so you see that
remote controller.
You find out that this actually is Evil Morty, and then it kind of leads to all those questions like, oh my god, so what's gonna happen
next?
Like, is he? Because this guy owns a citadel full of Ricks now, so he kind of has like all the power in the galaxy. He has all the Ricks he ever wants to build him anything.
Yep.
And then you see how in the first episode he was like killing the Ricks and just taking over the Morty.
Yeah,
so
but now he can manipulate them completely.
Now he has them. Like, these are my Ricks. I can do whatever I want with all these people in here.
And does that mean that our Rick and Morty, the Rick and Morty that we know, are they going to go back and save the Citadel, or have they completely denounced that life? And just stepped away from it?
Yeah. So like that gives us once again more questions. And like me and him were talking about earlier, it's like, well, now we saw an episode as far as Citadel being rebuilt, so now I wonder if the Galactic Federation is being rebuilt somewhere other side of space. So that's like something that I'm still wondering, because we still haven't heard from them. We've seen them.
Yeah, we haven't seen
any type of reference or anything concerning to them. So
and also there was a little part where we were going through I guess the police academy breaks, and what they were shooting at was the same little insects as the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, those soldiers.
Michael people.
Yeah, and they were like practicing on killing those, so it's kind of like maybe they know that they're still out there. Which I'm assuming they're still out there. They just probably disbanded because of Rick's amazing genius of sending the currency that was worth one of itself is now zero of itself.
Yeah.
So, but we're still left at the very ending of that episode with them still working, functioning as themselves, trying to still get Rick.
And trying to see what's going on.
Now seeing that the Citadel is rebuilt and it's under new command, I wonder if the Galactic Federation is going to make an appearance. And these few episodes that we actually have left of this season, which I am really stoked to find out. Later then, you just see Morty and Rick, oblivious of what's going on in space, come back from their Atlantis adventure, which is just lame because I actually wanted to see that adventure. And you just see them coming back from having an amazing time, and then apparently you find out that Rick and Morty had something to do with some mermaids, and they got some mermaids.
So I wonder if that has to do anything with the question: top half fish, bottom half human, or bottom half fish, top half human.
I guess they experimented during Atlantis. If they were,
I mean, I don't see why not.
Science. It's just what I'm saying. I would say it was all in the name of science. That's why Rick and Morty went, and they discovered something that we don't know, and I'm hoping that one day they'll share those adventures with us, those findings.
But I have to say, like, my favorite part of this whole episode probably has to be the whole training day arc, because they went through Morty Town that they call right, where all
the little Mortys,
the corrupt Morty Town. They go through a little gang called the Morty Town Locos, right?
Yeah,
so
and then
Mortys have
and then that one Morty was like corrupt cop, just like that's what Washington was, and then having the fact that he actually responded to somebody above him, the big Morty.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And obviously seeing that one Rick went against Morty.
Yeah, shooting him. Also, like in that strip club, there's like the different Mortys, right? You have like the big beard Morty, Cowboy Morty. There was a Morty without an outline.
Oh, that's right.
There was a Morty in the back that also looked like Justin Roiland, like one of the co-creators, and I think there was one that looked like Dan Harmon too.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool as far as
they're hinting at everything through.
Yeah, they're like saying, there's a bunch of Mortys guys, and then the fact that they have so many Mortys in different dimensions, I think they're just doing like a bunch of like cameos, hidden cameos.
Yeah, I mean that's what the cool thing about this episode, or I think is one of the cool things about this episode, is that I watched it maybe like to date probably about 25-30 times.
Oh yeah.
Just because and when I was here at WATCHTOWER maybe like a couple of days ago, we were running it on the loop on the TV, so like there's always something to catch.
Yeah.
In the background, so if you don't catch it the first
That's
time,
the good thing about every
rewatch.
episode. If you watch, I watch every episode at least 4 or 5 times back to back. So I'm like, dude, there's so much. You watch it, you catch one thing. You watch it, you catch another thing you didn't catch. It's like so much stuff in the background.
You just really have to pay attention, and otherwise you miss it. Like you blink and you miss it. Basically.
It's like now I'm stuck as far as my theory as far as Rick being trapped in the thing is probably about to be debunked.
Yeah.
Hope not, but
so if you don't know what the theory is, we'll put links up to the other video.
So the first video where my theory, it's conspiracy. Right now I'm kind of like that one guy in the meme who's like pointing at things like with lines pointing everywhere, and it's like paper and there's like strings attached to it.
Oh yeah.
Trying to connect the dots kind of deal. That's what I'm doing now.
We'll figure it out.
Go figure it out. We'll see what it is. Next episode will be pretty cool.
Yes. Next episode is the interdimensional cable episode with Morty's memories.
Yes, so interdimensional cable. They're bringing it back again. This time they're deciding not to go with the cable box.
It's all the memories that Morty wanted to have removed, so they should.
Which is really cool. I wonder how many. He had a room full of.
Yeah.
So I was like, those are adventures we don't know about.
Yep.
That Rick and Morty had, and Morty has been erasing them.
Yeah. So either they're really bad, really good. You want to keep it for later, or what's going on? But we'll find out.
We'll find out next episode,
and we will cover it.
Yes.
Damn it.
Hurricanes are over. We're done.
We will rebuild.
We don't need any more.
Yep. So that concludes it for this one, guys. My name is Roger.
This is Brown.
And we'll see you next time.
Deuce.